what did you say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running? Well, I immediately thought of him first. No, you didn't. I mean, fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. I was like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. She's had this ridiculously high turnover.
Bill Maher just torched CNN for shamelessly propping up Kamala Harris while taking endless swings at Donald Trump. And you better believe the left won't like this one bit. The liberal firebrand slammed the network's blatant bias and its obsession with twisting every headline to favor Democrats, calling it the very reason Harris went down in flames. Maher's takedown of CNN isn't just sharp. It's the most explosive critique we've heard from him in years. Buckle up because this one's going to sting. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And let's dive right in.
CNN is the place where both sides can watch. And
I'm talking about the people on CNN. And what I know what the conservative side of America thinks, and I don't blame them. They were just gushing about how great a speech it was. And I think she did fine. I didn't think it was as good as they were making it.
If you all remember, CNN practically fainted every time Kamala strung together a halfway coherent sentence. A generic "we must do better" suddenly became a groundbreaking policy vision analyzed from 10 different angles, as if she had just solved world hunger. They paraded experts, academics, and talking heads to reassure us that Kamala was a second coming of political genius. The woman with all the answers. Spoiler, she wasn't. And here's where Maher does the unthinkable. He calls them out for their shameless cheerleading. He sees it for what it was. Desperate, dishonest, and downright embarrassing. CNN wasn't informing the public they were running PR, and Maher with that trademark sting ripped right through their glossy facade.
It does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View.
I don't think that you can say that CNN is anything but fair. Everyone who was speaking last night, it's not like they were all Democrats. I mean, we had Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, Abby Phillip.
They come across
giving
that way.
Analysis.
They come across that way. In a moment like that, it was like 5-1.
Caitlin Collins, in her best nothing to see here tone, tried defending CNN by insisting they do cover Republican conventions and occasionally trot out Republican guests on their political shows. Cute defense, but Maher wasn't buying it. Sure, he doesn't deny they bring on conservatives, but he reminds everyone it's never a fair fight. It's always a loaded panel stacked 5-1 with the token Republicans sitting there like cannon fodder. And then came the knockout blow. Maher compared CNN setup to The View. Ouch. That's right. CNN, the self-proclaimed serious news outlet running panels that look suspiciously like a daytime talk show circus where one poor conservative gets outnumbered, mocked, and steamrolled by a liberal mob.
Conservatives do not trust CNN because it is so staunchly anti-Trump. He's not wrong, because they'll put on people like Adam Kinzinger or Anna Navarro, George Conway, and call them Republicans, or pretend that's being balanced by putting them on by saying, oh, see, these conservatives don't even like Trump. Only Scott Jennings over there can be called a conservative. And Maher is right. It's almost always 5-1 on shows they portray as news programs.
Many of us don't trust CNN, and it's not hard to see why. Their version of balance is pure tokenism, dragging in so-called Republicans who either can't string together a solid argument or are barely conservatives to begin with. These Republican voices aren't there to challenge anyone. They are there to be props, punching bags for the liberal panel to feel smart against. That kind of hypocrisy drives Bill Maher up the wall. And honestly, it drives a lot of viewers away, too. People aren't stupid. They can see when a network is stacking the deck. And that's exactly why so many conservatives and even independents end up tuning in elsewhere. CNN isn't offering debate. It's offering theater.
Asks you, do you have the time? Your answer is not, I do. If you, do you have the time? Right. Yes, it's 4:00. Well, you have to understand that words don't always mean what they mean.
And when Tim Walz said, like, the American people, I talk like they do. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're a huge liar, like all politicians are. I don't care, by the way. I've always said this about politics. They're all going to lie. They're politics. It's what they lie about. I don't give a shit what you did during the Iraq War. You were in the Guard. So I don't understand why they just can't. You're just insulting my intelligence.
Hey, Bill Maher wasn't pulling punches. He was ripping into both Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for the shameless lies they dropped during their softball interviews. Walsh, with his well-rehearsed political grin, has been caught exaggerating or outright lying about his involvement in certain political and even military events, desperately trying to paint himself as some kind of seasoned warrior statesman. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris has her own trail of tall tales. She boldly claimed she had been to the border when she hadn't set foot anywhere near it. To make matters worse, her team tried to spin another narrative that she wasn't on Joe Rogan's podcast because Rogan supposedly wouldn't allow her on. Maher wasn't buying any of it. He saw through the smoke and mirrors, calling out the blatant dishonesty. In Maher's view, this isn't politics as usual. It's deception dressed up as credibility, and the media's softball treatment only makes it worse.
When she said, what did you say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running? Well, I immediately thought of him first. No, you didn't. Fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. I was like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. She's had this ridiculously high turnover, like 42 of 47 people as vice president are gone. Just blame it on them. You know why these assholes are gone? Gave me the wrong information on fracking.
That's classic Kamala Harris. Dodge the question, shift the blame, and hope no one notices. It's practically her political trademark. Take fracking, for example. She flat out lied about her past positions, conveniently rewriting history the moment it became politically inconvenient. And then came the infamous word salad moment. A performance that could have won an award for the sheer number of empty phrases crammed into one answer. When asked what she could do better than Joe Biden, she didn't deliver a bold vision or even a clear policy stance. Instead, she unleashed one of the most incoherent rambles ever televised. A jumble of half-thoughts stitched together into something that sounded profound but meant absolutely nothing. Maher couldn't help but spotlight it because it perfectly captures Kamala's style. Say a lot, mean very little, and hope the media spins it into brilliance. Unfortunately for her, more people are noticing the emptiness behind the act.
What the bug up there is about IVF. I certainly understand abortion. There's a baby growing in the womb. I get it. It's going to be a human. Doesn't bother me, but yes, it is murder. Again, doesn't bother me that it is.
You're not supposed to mess with that. That's what many people think. You're supposed to let.
Oh, I see.
Great man upstairs.
Oh,
yeah. It goes back to that It goes back to that stem cell debate that George Bush had.
Yes.
Remember? It goes like the Terry Schiavo. It's just like life, laugh. Yeah. We support laugh.
Bill Maher is flat out wrong here. And it's not even close. He openly supports the uniliving of innocent babies. Children who are being punished not for their own actions, but for the recklessness of their parents. That moral contradiction is exactly why Maher will never fully cross over to the conservative side. The moment he does, his hypocrisy gets exposed for the world to see. On one hand, he never misses a chance to torch the Catholic Church for its failures in protecting children. And fair enough, they deserve criticism. But then with the other hand, he casually shrugs off the destruction of unborn lives as if those kids don't count. That's not just inconsistent, it's grotesque. Maher wants to posture as the brave truth teller, yet is blind to the most glaring truth of all. You can't claim to stand for justice while justifying the innocent paying the price for adult mistakes.
What explains Donald Trump's appeal to young men? I saw today that the gender gap, I think, is the widest. I mean, it's very predictable. I mean, the women are much more for Kamala and the men are much more for Trump generally.
But it's not predictable if you look at past elections where voters under 30, generally men and women, went for Democrats. This is remarkable. I think to explain it...
Wait, you're talking about under 30?
Yeah, the under 30
What's going
gender
on
gap is very different than past elections. In
Kamala Harris is rapidly losing ground with young men, the very demographic that gave him rats a major boost in 2020. And honestly, the reason isn't hard to see. For years, Democrats have pushed narratives that gradually emasculated men, leaving many feeling sidelined, diminished, or flat-out useless. Instead of correcting course, Harris doubled down on the same tired formula. When it came time to pick a running mate, she bypassed the chance to inspire younger voters by elevating a younger man. Instead, she went with an older, safe choice that did nothing to rebuild trust with disillusioned young men. Meanwhile, Donald Trump played the game differently. He chose a younger running mate, sending a clear message. He actually believes in the strength, energy, and future of young men. That contrast couldn't be sharper, and it's one of the key reasons Harris is bleeding support from a group Democrats can't afford to lose.
2020, young men and young women voted for Joe Biden at roughly the same rate. Over the last 4 years, and now with Kamala Harris, young women are voting for Kamala Harris at that same level, if not more. Kamala Harris has barely moved the needle with young men. They have gone more toward Trump. There's a lot of reasons for that. I think Trump has exploited culture war stuff. He appears on hyper masculine podcasts, and he just seems like a fun bro who's not going to ban your zins,
These people just don't get it. They mock and sneer at podcasts that promote healthy masculinity as if strong men are some kind of cultural threat. But here's the truth they can't seem to grasp. Strong men build strong families, strong communities, and ultimately strong societies. Weak men, on the other hand, create chaos and dependence. And that's exactly what the left seems to be encouraging. Yet, America has already spoken on this issue. In 2016, and again in 2020, millions of voters rallied behind Donald Trump, a candidate who unapologetically embodied strength, resilience, and defiance against the feminization of our institutions and policies. That wasn't just politics. It was a cultural rebellion. People were sick of being told masculinity is toxic. They wanted leadership rooted in toughness, conviction, and unapologetic confidence. And whether the elites like it or not, that demand for strength isn't going away anytime soon.
This could actually be, this is a real issue for Kamala Harris, though. Like, this could be fatal for her campaign. So if Democrats need to win 60% of the youth vote to win the White House. Hillary came up short. Obama did it. Biden did it. Kamala Harris is right now at like 55% of the youth vote. If she doesn't get to 60, she could lose the election. And it's because young men, Gen Z men, are breaking to Trump.